Shortly after my arrival in Washington, I was preparing to head back to Florida for surgery. I would be recovering for a while, so I wanted to get in a few days of hiking before I would be unable to do much of anything for weeks. I headed to Mount Hood with some gear to test ahead of my PCT attempt and some emotions to reconcile ahead of a surgery that had made me more than a little anxious. I was also preparing for my next hike in Scotland, so this trip seemed a logical choice from a training perspective, as well as the perfect solution to recharge. I had a few concerns going into this hike. One was elevation. Mount Hood is the highest I've ever been, and my last visit here wasn't as physically demanding as a backpacking trip. Ever since I had COVID, my cardio has never quite been the same, and Florida was a whole different world than this. My experience hiking in the UK was no match for the Cascades. This trip would test me in more ways than one. It would also give me a good idea as to whether or not the gear I'd selected would make the final cut for my PCT gear loadout. I didn't know it at the time, but this trip would leave me with more questions and doubt than answers and a replenished soul. Hi guys, we are on Mount Hood in Oregon. I'm here at the Timberline Lodge right behind me, and I'm going to be hiking the Timberline Trail. The trail starts right behind the Timberline Lodge, right here, on up this little hill right here, and there's Mount Hood. We're going to go all the way around and come right back out over here. All right guys, first steps on the trail. Look at these pretty little flowers. Look at that. I mean, come on. It's hard to even get out of the parking lot because you got Mount Jefferson over that way, Mount Hood behind me. Crazy. There we go. People coming up on the ski lift. This is the PCT, where I've come up. That's Mount Hood. And this is the spot right over here where we will return in 4 days. Let's go. Look at this. It feels like it's 80 degrees and there's some snow right at the start. Whoop. Hey guys, first ice of the day that I've had to traverse. Look at that. All right, let's get going. So it's pretty steep. Coming up to the start, it got my heart going. My Florida heart. And now we are on a little bit more slightly undulating track. We are on the PCT. This trail follows the PCT for a few sections. I think also the blowdown area is still an option, but I don't think I want to do that. 4th of July weekend, some folks were saying that it was a bit gnarly, so good camp spot there on the left. We can go this way or this way. It's about the same. Okay, we've reached our first junction. We're going to continue ahead on the PCT toward Paradise Park. And this trail right here is the Mountaineer Trail. So we're going this way. And here's where we stop and do our permit. I'm gonna put my camera down, use both poles. Okay, so trail goes up this way, goes along up that way. That lady way up there, I don't know if you could see her, running with her dog, just passed me like 3 minutes ago.
Oh, the sure stick.
Oh.
Worth it.
She's got helicopter insurance.
I do have helicopter insurance.
They fly her out of here. We're not paying a dime.
That's amazing.
All right, so I don't know how much of that gorge I got because I had noodle legs up there. It was making me a little woo-woo in the legs. I feel like I have a rock in my shoe. It's a little hard going because you're having to go uphill a lot and there's deep sand in some places. So, you know, just trying to take my time. It smells good in here. There's flowers and butterflies and lots of flies. Okay, so we are descending from that super high point and I hear water, so I'm guessing we are headed down to the first water crossing. I think it's Zigzag Canyon, and I may, depending on how silty the water looks, I may get some more water there Ooh, look at this. It's a good amount of flowers. Mushy. Mushy. Please don't slide off a mountain. Please don't slide off a mountain. Oh, mushy part. Okay. I went to put my camera away and look at all the pretty flowers. Oh, and a butterfly. Smells nice. Whoops. This is not a place I want to trip. Okay. Okay, the trail continues off over there, and I'm probably going to have to go up a little bit to find a place to cross. I'm looking for cairns. Don't really see any. There's a log down there. Looks like a pretty big log. I might be able to do that. The kid just did it. Okay guys, I just crossed this. There's a good clump of rocks here. I had to actually, see those people walking over there? That's where the trail comes out. I went up the other way a little bit, didn't find anything. And it looked to be getting a little shallow down here. So I just went really slow, remembered my water crossing safety. Still sketchy though, my heart is pounding. River crossing 1. All done. I forgot to film where the trail splits off and you could go right or left. I decided to go the PCT route. Yeah, just taking a little break before I finish. Going up this hill. The flies are so bad. Yikes. Time to go. Time to get going. Looks like we're about up to the top again. Yikes, man. This is tough. Oh, guys, look at this. Wow. All right. This would be a good spot to camp. So I think I'm going to ingest some more calories, get a little bit more electrolytes in me before I head on down the road. I'm about halfway to my destination. I don't know what time it is. I think it's like 3. So I have plenty of time, but it's kicking my ass. All right, this is the Paradise Park Loop intersection right here. And we're going this way. Ramona Falls, that's where I'm going. All right, guys. Let's try it. All right, did it. My feet were dry. Now they're wet again. Ooh, I think I'm gonna get some water up here. Okay, so just past the lovely little tiny waterfall is this spot right here. It would be good for an overnight camp spot. Looks pretty flat. You could probably even get a tiny tent in there. So, yeah. All right, let's continue on. It is a hot one today. Looks like the trail goes off that way. But that looks extremely unsafe. I feel nauseous even standing here. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Guys, I cannot believe I just did that. I was cursing the whole damn way. Look at that view. All right. Beautiful waterfall. Look at that. All right. Time to get moving. All right, so this looks fun. I guess the trail's somewhere up there. I think that's it over there. But look at all this crap. Yikes. Oh my goodness. Okay. Which way do I go? That way, this way. Hopefully they go the same way. Oh, they do. Okay. Look at that. Wow. And then over here. Look at this. Whew. Oh, we got a bunch of sand. Okay. I think it's straight ahead. Although there's one that goes off that way. I think it's this. Huh. Just wow. I think we're a couple miles from the river now, and then it's another mile on after that to where we're supposed to camp tonight. I am super tired. I'm ready for the day to be done. Okay, so the gentleman that was just going the opposite way said there's a giant cairn by a log. And then he said there's also another about 1/8 of a mile up. So I don't have much energy left, so hopefully this is not going to be too bad. God, I'm so fucking tired. I am so tired. And I still got to go up a hill. Oh boy. I don't see a giant cairn yet. There's a log right there. Alright. Not a bad evening view. Hey guys, it is the end of day 1 on the Timberline Trail. I did about 10 miles today. I was supposed to stop at, I believe Ramona Falls is at mile 11 or 11 and a half. I was supposed to stop there, but by the time I got to the river, the Sandy River, it was pretty high, and you can probably hear it right now. It's raging over there. There's a man and his 2 kids camped over there, and he tried to throw a log across for me. It wasn't a very thick log. He was trying to help, but I just didn't feel good about it. The water crossing I did earlier today was really sketch. I went up and down that river probably 40 minutes or so to try to find a safe place to cross. And then when I did cross, it was sketchy. I don't like that. I'm not a huge fan of water. So yeah, and there's been a couple of spots on this trail today that I absolutely thought I was going to just turn around and go back because of the steepness and the exposed areas. I think there's another exposed area on the north side. I don't think I can do that. Between the rivers being so crazy and that sketchy couple of parts I did today, I'm not feeling like I'm wanting to continue this hike. It's scaring me more than I'm enjoying it. You know, and I think it's important to show people that it's okay. You don't have to finish a hike just because you started it. After the Sandy River, the trail goes up again, and after all the inclines today, I couldn't do it. I'm beat. I am just beat. This kind of terrain is not something I'm familiar with. It's new to me. So it's gonna take a while to get used to hiking in it. But about halfway through the day, I started to feel really demoralized. Yeah, I don't have any service right now where I'm at. I did send a Garmin message to my family. Hopefully they got it. I am camped by the Sandy River right now. I'm a little ways back. There's another family over there and a little clump of trees. But I didn't feel good about crossing the river in early evening when it was just rushing crazy. It's supposed to be a little bit better in the morning, so I'm gonna cross in the morning. And Ramona Falls was my destination for today. There is a public access trail, like a cross trail that goes up to Ramona Falls. It's a popular day hike for people. So I think I may go out that way. Maybe I'll feel different in the morning. I don't know. I'm just not feeling great right now. Also have gotten 2 abnormally high heart rate notifications today, and both of them were when I was stopped here for the day. If you watched my first West Highland Way video, you know that also happened on day 1. I've been relaxing here for about an hour now, so I don't know why my heart rate would be so high. I don't know what it is. I didn't look. I just got the alarm. But I'm going to get myself something to eat and get some more water and get ready for bed.
I brought along these little biodegradable packed wipes on this trip. This is my first time using these. They're very compressed. You just add water and you get a full wipe.
How's that for a morning tent view? Look at that. Morning, everybody. It is about 5:30 a.m. It's pretty bright out here right now. I think I've made the decision that instead of trying to go the 1 mile to the next possible place that I could bail off a trail and then just hope that I would have signal there and hope to be able to call a ride, I think I may backtrack to Timberline today. I don't want to do that sketchy river crossing. I don't want to do the hanging off the gravel cliff thing. I don't want to do that again, but it's going to be worse up ahead. The elevation starts picking up after this point, and I know that there is at least one sheer face of the side of the mountain that is coming up, and I'm not about that. I don't want to do that. There's just so many things on this trail that just did not feel safe, that I really wasn't comfortable doing. Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to do what feels safe to you and not push yourself through something that you might not enjoy or that might possibly get you injured. I had a situation last night with my heart, again, like happened to me in Scotland. I was completely at rest and my Garmin kept blowing up and my heart rate was really high for somebody who had been just sitting for like 2 hours. Just don't feel comfortable with pushing myself on the even steeper parts of trail. I need to figure out what's going on with my heart. They've not been able to find anything as of yet. I've been to cardiologists before and I've worn the heart monitors, and we know that I have PVCs. A lot of people have PVCs. Heart conditions do run in my family, so it's a little scary. So I'm gonna take it easy today and just meander my way back to Timberline. It's about 9 miles. It took me about 7 hours yesterday to do that 9 miles. It's tough. It's tough terrain. The trail is rated as hard. I would say that is accurate. So I'm going to make some coffee, make some breakfast. I still feel pretty dry. I consumed a decent amount of water last night and I still feel pretty dry. I took my mouth guard out this morning and there's like no spit whatsoever on it. So yeah, I'm gonna just relax, enjoy my coffee, make some breakfast, try to carb up as much as possible and get out of here as soon as I can to get to Timberline in a decent amount of time. If I feel like I'm just, like I have to stop, there were several little camp spots along the way, and I will do that because I have 4 days worth of food. So, just gonna kind of chill out and try to enjoy what I can enjoy out of this trip and not, let it ruin my experience totally. So the water doesn't look any less rough today than it did yesterday. Maybe some of the spots down there, I don't know. But yeah, I'm just gonna work my way back up this way. The trail is right over here. Starts right over here somewhere. Back up into the trees here. And yep, just gonna do that. Despite having done a wipe bath last night, I brought the little wipe tabs that you just add water to, and they puff up. Despite doing that last night, I'm still covered in sand and dirt. Still covered in dirt. It's pretty chilly here this morning. I would venture to say it's probably high 50s, low 60s. I'm going to wear the sun hoodie today because I brought the little sunscreen stick, but I don't know if that's enough. And there were a lot of places yesterday that were in direct exposed sunlight, so I feel a little bit better using the sun hoodie. Yeah, just trying to start out hydrated and carbed up, and already sent a Garmin message to my family letting them know that I was backtracking to Timberline. Not the way I wanted it to end, but I'm not feeling good about continuing. So I think you have to know when to pull the plug on your own adventure. And I'm pulling the plug on this one. It's like I've got some clumps in it. It's probably gonna have to sit for a minute. So before I left, I kept telling myself I've got to get Koo out of my Jeep because Koo is in my Jeep, and I forgot him. So the Timberline Lodge has a little shop, and they had these cute little finger puppet animals for little kids, and this was just adorable and just the right size. So this little guy is my hiking buddy on this trip. This is so cute. It's adorable. Having a super hard time eating. I don't know why. I have no appetite at all. Like, I had to force myself yesterday to stop and eat so I could have energy, because when I got on trail, all I had in me was a bagel. And of course, when you're dehydrated, you've got no moisture in your mouth, and it's just blah. I was swigging water all day yesterday, and it still didn't seem like enough. But I had no appetite then. I have no appetite now. I am forcing myself to eat this oatmeal. Then I got to get some electrolytes in me because I'm going to need it for today. So we are heading back up the hill today. It is nice and cool in here. I think a lot of today is going to be uphill for me, but it would have been more uphill the other way. So I'm going to enjoy the nice cool morning and try to pace myself, because near the end of last night I was running down the hill because I don't like hiking in the dark, and I didn't know what the river situation was going to be. So hopefully the other river is going to be easier to cross today now that I know a good spot.
In the stress of the previous day, I had forgotten that there was actually a choice in the paths that I took to return. Passing a hiker along the way, he suggested that I take the Paradise Park alternate. What a difference that made.
Thank you, random guy who told me this was way better. It totally is. Wow. I hear water. I gotta fill up.
On the way back to Timberline Lodge, I didn't record very much.
I was struggling with feeling disappointed in myself. I knew I had done the right thing, but it was still difficult to call it on this hike. In retrospect, I wish I had filmed more on the way back because it was absolutely the most stunning part of my few days on the mountain. Not all hikes turn out how you expect them to, and that's okay. It had been a while since my last long-distance hike. I struggled with altitude and my confidence on this one, but the beauty of this place was well worth the effort.